Hello, my friend. Welcome to my favorite video of the month. It is Favorites and Fails countdown time, where I talk about the worst product I tried this month and count all the way to the best product that I tried this month, which is usually something that surprised me, and this definitely surprised me. I believe it is very unique to what I personally own, and I'm excited to share it with you. So if that sounds fun, if that sounds interesting, hang tight. We are getting into it right now. Before we get started with our countdown, I do want to start, as always, with our hashtag not sponsored feature. I get a lot of companies reaching out to me trying to strategically place their products in my favorites and fails. I personally think that's weird. No shade to anybody that actually does that, but I feel weird about that. So a long time ago, I decided to start this hashtag not sponsored feature to tell you something that is outside of the beauty space that I have been loving. And this week I have a website, and this website is for movie lovers. So if you are not a movie lover, timestamps down below. Feel free to skip ahead to number 10. But if you are a movie lover like I am, I grew up watching a ton of movies from Blockbuster Video, this website is for you. You may have heard of it. It is called Letterboxd. It's basically Goodreads, but for movies. And what you do is you go on and you can browse through, click videos that you have watched and add them to your I've seen this list. You can rate, you can leave reviews, and then you can create a watch list of movies that you would like to watch. And this has been so helpful for me for a couple of reasons. First, I'm always the person that sits down with my husband or with my kids and it's like, what are we going to watch? I take a little time on Letterboxd and I make a playlist of things that I want to see, and then I kind of propose them to the group. So it just gives us kind of a place to start with movies that I personally want to see, because it is horrible to sit in front of the television for like half an hour trying to find something to watch. So it kind of cuts down the time there. The other thing is it helps remind me of movies that I have not seen in a very long time and really want to rewatch them to see if they stand the test of time. Most recently, I rewatched the movie Singles that I hadn't seen in forever. It is a Cameron Crowe film. It has Bridget Fonda, it has Kira Sedgwick, it has Matt Dillon. It is just a really fun cast and a very, I don't know if it stood the test of time as far as the themes of it, but I did enjoy seeing some of the nostalgic things that are in there. I mean, Eddie Vedder plays a very small part. It's very 90s, if you like that kind of thing. Letterboxd also introduced me to movies that I hadn't seen, like Eat, Pray, Love, and He's Just Not That Into You. I sat down and had a binge movie watch time. I guess it was right after I got back from Charleston, and just kind of watched chick flicks for hours, and it was lovely. I'm glad I watched them. Probably won't watch them again, but very much enjoyed my time just like rotting my brain with rom-coms. And right now I'm rewatching Three Musketeers, which is also from the 90s. It has Kiefer Sutherland and Charlie Sheen and Tim Curry in it. Like, it is just, it's not, honestly not a great movie so far. I remember it being epic, but I think it was because I had a crush on Chris O'Donnell back in the day. And now that I don't have a crush on him anymore, it's just not quite as epic. But anyway, my point is it's Letterboxd that helped me to rediscover old movies that I hadn't seen in a while, get into some movies that I had never seen, and it's just a great database, and I love the way that it's organized, and it's just fantastic. So I will leave a link to Letterboxd down below in case you would like to check it out. I'll also link my personal Letterboxd down there in case you would like to see some of my ratings, movies I've seen, things like that. But with that being said, it is now time for me to tell you about the worst product that I tried this month at number 10. I just realized that Jabberwocky is up too high. Bloop. Let me bring him down. There we go. That will be much better for us. Can I move him a little closer? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, right there. That will be good. All right, I think I've removed all the obtrusive things. The worst product that I tried in the month of May of 2023 is actually what is on my lips right now. Thank you so much to Milani for sending these over to let me try them. I am not a fan, unfortunately, but you may be, depending on what you like in a lip product. So these are the new Milani Stay Put liquid lipsticks. I am currently wearing the shade 140, which is called The Moment, and then I put a little bit of shade 120, which is called 1010, right in the center. I don't think it perfectly matches my eye look. You'll have to tell me. I'm not good at matching colors. You'll have to tell me whether you think it matches. I feel like it's a little off, but I really just wanted to be wearing this in the video so I could tell you about it. This is the thing. It's sticky. It's sticky and it's dry, and it's not fun. Lasting power is decent though, as long as you don't eat anything with oil on it. It stays on the lips a really long time, so if you like that, you will probably actually really like these if you don't mind it being pretty relatively uncomfortable. It's definitely not the most uncomfortable liquid lipstick I've ever felt. It does have some give to it. You don't feel like it's gonna crack as your lips move, but you can feel it. It feels a little bit heavy and again, dry, a little sticky. When I talk though, my lips don't stick together. It's really when I just press them together, I can feel a slight stick. So overall, just not a big fan of these, unfortunately. That was really the only product that I straight up didn't like for this month. But this one I feel like could use a little bit of improvement. This is the POREfessional Smooth Sip Lightweight Smoothing Moisturizer for pores. Now, Benefit did send me this whole line of for pores products. I don't have large pores. I don't have oily skin. This line is not meant for me. So I picked out the two products that I felt like, based on the ingredient list, that my normal skin would benefit from. And this is one of them. I'm going to read off of my notes as far as the ingredients go. This is what it looks like in the jar. It is a jelly formula, which is part of the problem for me. It has a lot of humectants in the top to pull water into the skin, which is great. It also has niacinamide in there. Niacinamide is a powerhouse ingredient. If it doesn't cause flushing in the skin for you, it can help with acne. It can help with dark spots, especially ones that are caused by hyperpigmentation from the sun's rays. It can also help encourage collagen production. There's so much good stuff in niacinamide if your skin can tolerate it. There's also squalane in here for skin balancing, but be aware there is fragrance in here. The scent on this is very clean, fresh. It does have quite a nice scent. It is probably medium strength. It's not super light, but it's not overpoweringly strong. My big issue with this is just getting the right amount on the fingers is difficult because of the jelly texture. You can't scoop it up right. So when you put your finger in, that's kind of what you get, but that's not quite enough. So I find myself kind of tapping and then going back in and tapping more, and it's just kind of annoying overall, just getting the right amount on my face. Another option, if you don't want to kind of jiggle in there your finger to get product, is kind of take the back of your fingernail and dig in it. But again, it's just really hard to get the right amount because it's like this weird jelly texture. It does seep into the skin really nicely, but I don't feel like it is as hydrating as I wanted it to be. My skin doesn't feel great after I put it on like some other hydrating products. I don't know what it is. It's just a fine product. I don't think that it is worth the price point. I think that you can get very similar products that do better, in my opinion, for what this is. I think that it's kind of a basic product at a high price point, but that's just my opinion. Let me know if you've tried this and what your experience has been. Next up, we have the brand new Sigma cream blushes. Like I said, these are not bad products. I just feel like there could be a little bit of improvement. I did, when last time I talked about this, talk about that the lasting power was not fabulous on this. I've tried it since then with a couple of other foundations and found that it does seem to work better with more matte foundations rather than more dewy foundations. I don't know what's up with that, maybe because it is a cream formula, but I don't seem to have that same problem with other cream formulas. It seems to be just this one. Pigmentation is beautiful on this. I am wearing it today. It does build really nicely, but you can also have it nice and sheer. Goes on perfectly with a stipple brush, you know, the ones that have the little pokies. Let me show you the one I've been using. This is the Sigma F53 Air, and you can see I just used it today, so it's got some product on there. But just the stippliness here really helps the cream product to go on very evenly and nicely. Lasting power is not bad over a more dewy foundation. It's more of like a 6 hours, where over a matte foundation it seems to be closer to 8 or 9 hours before it's significantly faded. So overall, I do really like these. As far as the formula, I do wish that they were a little bit less peach as a range. I feel like the whole range is kind of peach, which is not necessarily my favorite for my skin tone. I like things that are a little bit more mauvey, a little bit more pinky, but that's just a personal preference. Hopefully they'll expand the shade range to include a few more of those shades. I told you there really aren't a whole lot of bad products this month, which is very exciting. So the rest of them are ones that I really, really like a lot. So let's talk about the Essence Fix It Like a Boss Brow Gel. It is so nice. It does, it's on my brows today. It does hold the brows very nicely without a lot of crunch. There's a tiny bit of crunch, but if you put it on extra light, you're not going to have as much hold, but you'll have less crunch. It's pretty logical. More hold, more crunch. So depending on your sensitivity to texture, just kind of keep that in mind. The formula is actually kind of goopy, but I feel like that's what helps it to really go into the brows well. My other critique of this is I wish that the wand was a little bit smaller, about half the size. I feel like it would be easier to get into the brows if it was just a little bit smaller. But overall, it is a really nice product, especially for the price point. It's very, very good. I would compare it to the Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax, which is my favorite. I do like the brow wax better, but if you are not in the market for that, if that's way over your price point, this is a great alternative. Speaking of like a boss, Essence really did a nice job with this line, really coming out with stellar formulas. This is the Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base, and if you saw my video last Friday, we used this as an eyeshadow base and compared it to the Milani, and it performed just as well. That has been my consistent experience with this, that it is a very, very good eye primer. The thing about this that is my critique is that I wish that it muted out discoloration. That is really the only thing, and again, that is personal preference. So it's just like a little bit silicone-y to the touch, but not a lot, just a tiny, tiny bit, and it does dry down clear. So if you're looking to set up like an eye base to make your colors pop, this is not going to be it. But if you're just trying to help your eyeshadows go over a nice base, make your eyeshadows last longer, this one is very, very good. Very surprised to have a pencil eyeliner in my favorites and fails. I don't even remember the last time there was a pencil eyeliner. This was very kindly sent to me by ColourPop. This is their newly reformulated Creme Gel Liner. I don't know what they did to these, but the Creme Gel Liners before, whenever I used them on the lower lash line, they always ran on me really bad. This one does not. I don't know what they did, but it is super fab. I've used it on my lower lash line and it does not run on me, which is wonderful. I've also used it on the upper lash line. I've used it both just like a straight line. I've also smudged it out. It works really, really well. I like this shade a lot. This one is in the shade Brouhaha. I gave the black one to my friend Mary Lynn, and I think I gave her another brown one, but I do have some colors that I'm going to keep playing with. I'm just really enjoying this formula. I'm usually a pen liner kind of person, so a pencil liner is something that I don't tend to grab for very often, but I'm definitely going to grab for these more often because I find that eyeshadow, when I put it on my lower lash line like I have today, it tends to fall down throughout the day, but these liners do not. So yes, the last time I had a liner like this that was as good as this were the Makeup Geek eyeliners. So Makeup Geek is no more. I have to have an alternative. I have to have something that does the same thing, and these are doing it for me. Next is a brush that I've been absolutely loving. I never would have tried this if they didn't send it to me in PR, and I'm so, so thankful. This is the Rose and Ben C42 brush. It's the only PR I've ever gotten from them, and I am just so, so thankful. The handle is not wood. It's kind of like a fake wood. It's like a plastic that's brushed to look like wood. And it is so comfortable to hold. It just feels really smooth. It's got a really nice weight to it. But what I love most is just the shape of the brush. I love that I can put on foundation, but I can also kind of turn it to the side and use it to blend out concealer. I've also used this for cream blush. I have used this for contour. I've used it for bronzer. It's just a really good universal face brush that you can use for all kinds of things. And it's so soft. It just feels like a good, solid, high quality brush. And I'm so enjoying it. I'm going to continue using this a lot because it is just fantastic. At number 3 is the eyeshadow palette that is on my eyes today. This is the Unearthly Don't Be Jelly palette. I got this in Charleston on the girls' trip that we went on, and I saw this and I was like, I am very intimidated by these colors. I don't know how much I'm going to use this. And then I started using it and I was like, oh, I can use these colors. Like, I'm good. It's not as scary as I thought it was going to be. The only shade I probably won't use is this shade Coral. This color just doesn't look good on me. Just overall, I'm just not a fan. And it's not the palette's fault. It's not the shadow's fault. It's just that particular color. I don't like the way it looks on me. And the rest of the colors are more my jam. So today, I used on my lid the purples, and then on the lower lash line, I used the blues. So I use Sea Star all up in my crease, in the crease, and blend it out on my brow bone. And then deeper in my crease, I used Sea Urchin. On my lid, I used Jellyfish and Hydraspace. On the lower lash line, I used Sea Space. On the outer corner, in the middle, I used Aquatic. And then on the inner corner, I used the shade Salty. In a previous look, I used the shade Luminescence. This one is insanely gorgeous. The only thing about this is that the duochromes in here do take some packing to get them to be opaque. So you can do like a sheer wash of the color, or you can pack it on and make it really, really bold. With the mattes, it's the opposite, where it goes on very strong and it takes a little elbow grease to get it to blend, especially the shade Sea Urchin is a little bit more difficult. Not nearly as much trouble with Sea Star at all. That one blended out really, really nicely. Lagoon blends out really nicely. Sea Forest blends out really nicely. Honestly, it's just this Sea Urchin shade. I will be honest with you, I have not used Coral. I don't know. But it really wasn't a problem. It was just a little bit of extra work. No big deal. But I am just so thankful to have gotten my hands on this so that I can have Unearthly Cosmetics on my radar, because they weren't before and now they are. And it's a fantastic palette. Number 2 is the other POREfessional product. This one is the one that by far works the best for me. This is a fun product. I've never used anything personally like this. I'm sure there's something else like this out there, but this is the first time I've ever used a foam toner. I haven't even used a toner in a really long time. This is the Titan Toned Pore-Refining AHA+PHA Toning Foam. It is fun. It's a mousse. Check this out. Like that. It's so fun. And then it just feels like water on the skin as you rub it out. It's just wet. And then it just dries down like water. It is very, very thin, like a traditional toner. It just comes out like foam, which is cool. As far as the ingredients on here, like it says, it's a combination of PHAs and AHAs. What does that mean? They are both chemical exfoliators, so they're going to help you slough off dead skin cells. And what I love about this is it's not a BHA. BHAs are more for oily skin to clean out the pore lining. That's not what I need. I need AHAs and PHAs to slough off the dead skin. So this one is definitely for me. Gluconolactone is the PHA that's in here. So along with the mild chemical exfoliation, you're also going to get a moisturizer and an antioxidant in there. Glycolic acid, very common, very well-researched AHA is the AHA that's in here. Along with it being a more strong chemical exfoliator, you also have in here some collagen encouraging power, which is wonderful for those of us that are getting a little more up in age. It could also help fade brown spots due to to sun damage. Beyond that, there's some really nice humectants in the top of this to pull water into the skin. And of course, water is in the product. So that's nice to just have it all there for you to make your skin a bit more hydrated. And it's just a really nice, effective product. When I wake up in the morning, my skin looks glowier. I do usually pop a moisturizer on over top of this before I go to bed. And it's just a good, solid product if you're looking for a chemical exfoliator. And because it does have the PHA in there along with the AHA, it may be more mild than just a glycolic acid all by itself. So if you were looking for something like this, highly, highly, highly recommend. And then finally, at number 1, I'm shocked, my friends. I am shocked because I've tried a lot of foundations in my life and I have been very partial to light to medium coverage foundations. I feel like they look really good on my skin. A lot of the newer ones are a very nice satin finish without looking heavy, and that's kind of what my jam has been. The problem with a lot of those is that they aren't enough coverage for filming. They make my skin look pretty in real life, but on camera, not quite as nice. So this foundation, this is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I have the shade Light 60 Neutral. This is beautiful. If you're looking for something that is a skin-like finish, that is more of a satin finish, but also medium to fuller coverage, this is the jam. I was shocked. I really didn't expect to like it, genuinely. And I love it. It is so, so pretty. I'm wearing it today. I was also wearing it in last Friday's video if you want to see it in natural light. Lasting power is fantastic. I've put this on over no primer. I've put this on over a couple of different primers. Really, honestly, no difference in the wear time, whether I'm using a primer or not. Wear time is just really, really good. And overall, just very much enjoying it. The color match is beautiful, and there's nothing else I want in a foundation. Some other favorites recently, just for comparison, are the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. You can see I'm starting to run out of that one, and the Revlon Illuminate Skin Caring Foundation. Really, the difference is the coverage, where I feel like I can build this one just a little bit more, especially than this one. This one I feel like doesn't really get above medium, like a light to medium. This one I feel like I can build a little bit more full, but I don't think it looks as pretty when I build it. This one still looks pretty when I build it, and I think that's the big plus on this one. If I had to choose between these two, I might pick this one just for on the daily, but for filming, I would pick the ColourPop. And at this point, my friend, it is your turn in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, where we help each other not to buy crap and to buy things that are totally worth it. I would love to know your thoughts on anything I talked about today. What has been your personal experience? What have you heard about these products? I'm sure you watch YouTube channels that I don't watch, so if you've heard from other YouTubers or on TikTok about any of these products, something different than what I said or something to back up what I said, I would love to know your thoughts. If you don't know anything about these products and you've never tried them before, I would love to know what you've been trying lately. What have been some of your fails? What have been some of your favorites? And I may buy some of them in the future for a future video. So thank you again so much for watching. If you would like to hang out just a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you right over here to watch, including one I picked up for you special down there. YouTube's gonna pick the top one based on your viewing history, but if you do need to go, totally get it. No problem at all. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did. And mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very, very soon. Bye!